Most people think building muscles is about doing more. So we're talking more sets, more reps, more volume. I've said this so many times on this channel. When I first started lifting, I used to go to the gym 5 to 6 times a week. However, now I go to the gym 3 to 4 times a week. And obviously my physique still looks good. Most people are actually failing because you're doing too much and you're doing it wrong. And that really is what is actually killing your progress. I know it's a duty for me to debunk this misconception. Volume equals growth. Hell no. Volume does not equal growth. I'm going to correct this and tell you that effort is what actually equals growth. Effort equals growth and not volume equals growth. And that is a good thing for you watching this video because you don't need more hours in the gym. You don't need your workouts to also be stupidly long. You need to be giving your muscles quality stimulus. And I can assure you, it's going to grow. So no time wasted. Let's dive into the video. No time wasted. Let's run. Let's go. Let's go. Now the first point I must address is your intensity is better than your volume. Now you need to be taking every single set close to failure with high intensity. The reason why this works is because I understood that intensity is greater than effort. I believe that whenever you speak on training with intensity, the biggest thing would be intense. This right here is so important. So most people are training, let's say they are doing chest press. They probably would be like, oh, I just finished doing 10 reps. But the reality is that they did not push their muscles to failure. They probably had 2 to 4 more reps where they could actually push their muscles to actual failure. And if you remember what I said previously, I said muscle growth requires the right kind of stimulus. Your muscle needs a lot of load in order for it to adapt. Now that's the reason why you need to be training with intensity. So if you're not training your workouts close to failure, you're just literally in the gym playing and it's an activity that is wasted and it's not going to give you muscle growth. This is something I wish someone told me when I first started lifting, the recovery truth. Growth does not happen in the gym. Yes. So the muscles do not grow in the gym. It grows outside of the gym. Marker is doing the most today. I call it that outside. So we outside, that's literally your muscles. What it says every single time when it's looking at you. Your muscles are going to grow. This is the word because I know this is what you guys want. When you are eating, you're sleeping, you are recovering. That's when your muscles actually grow. What happens in the gym is you break down your muscles. You tear your muscle fibers, make tiny cuts in the muscles. When you are eating, you are sleeping, you're recovering. That's the time where those tears are actually going to be fixed back. The muscle building is actually occurring. The breakdown is what happens in the gym. The building is actually what happens in your recovery. When you have more volume, it means that you're going to be giving less time for your body to eat, sleep, and recover. And that's the reason why you're going to have less growth. That's not anything that any of you guys want watching this video. So your body does not reward volume. It does not reward only effort. It rewards recovery. At a very specific point, too much volume will equal to stalling. So like there is a lot of diminishing returns where when you're doing more, you actually would get less. So there's a point where you are doing more sets, you're doing more reps. However, what you're actually doing is you're becoming more tired, you're becoming more injury prone, you're not even giving your body enough time to recover. And that really is a point where you should not even get to. As I said, too much volume does not always equal a good thing. The point where more work affects your performance, that's not progress at all. And I don't even want you guys to even get there. I pretty much tell you that you should do less. However, we're still optimizing. We're working with the 80-20% rule, where we want to impute 20% and want to reap 80% of the results. That's why you're here on this channel. And with that said, you need to understand that progressive overload is king. It doesn't matter, you don't need to be doing crazy volume, but you need to know where you need to put your efforts in. And this right here would be focusing on lifting heavier over time. Your strength should be the priority. The priority should not just be doing stupid amount of volume and just going to the gym and just doing a lot. One of my roommates usually would go to the gym and he would do all the machines. Like literally, did you hear me? He would do all the machines, and that's not even what you want to be doing. What you want to be focusing on is focusing on strength, your strength is increasing. So naturally your reps is increasing. Naturally your weights are increasing. That is what you want to focus on. That right there is going to get you results. But if you're not progressing, if you're not getting stronger, you're wasting your time in the gym. Now, the fifth point would be quality sets only. We're not just only aiming for dumb sets. No! No! Quality sets only. I repeat. Now, you want effective reps. So one hard set is better than 3 lazy sets. And the reason why I say this is quite easy. At that one hard set, you're pushing yourself. You're actually pushing your muscles to try and grow. With the 3 lazy sets, you're not even doing anything. You're wasting your time. You're doing junk volume. And this is the mistake people make. People think that you need to be doing a lot of volume, a lot of reps. I think I've probably even heard the word shock your muscles. And I'm like, what the heck is that? Please don't be doing none of that. And that's one of the reasons why people quit. They do a lot of volume, junk volume. This is what you accomplish. You don't want this. Run away from junk volume. We don't want none of that. This is a rubbish because this won't take you anywhere. This is one of the reasons why I believe that people also quit, because they do a lot of junk volume and lazy sets. And by the time they do this and they are not seeing results, they would quit. What you want to be doing is you want to be doing hard sets, pushing yourself close to failure and progressively overloading. One thing you must remember about junk volume is hard work doesn't always matter if it's not the right work. Please and please remember that. The core message actually is you should train harder, not longer. You don't need 5 hours in the gym. You don't need to keep on imputing so much stupid ton of work. No, you actually just need to focus on what actually works. Hard work is really not the goal. It's smart work. That's really the goal. Understand what your focus should be. The focus should be on your intent and your strength. Now, it is so important that you train with a conscious decision that you are trying to push harder every single time. And when you actually train that way, you should see your strength increase as well. So you should see your strength naturally increase by your reps will actually gradually start increasing, and you should also be able to increase more weights. The moment you can start doing that, that is really when you can tell that your muscles is actually growing. And that's really the point. Now, it is so crucial. There is intensity, not volume. We're not doing junk volume over here. No, we do not do junk volume. We train with intensity. We are pushing to failure. And every single time I remember progressive overload and pushing to failure, I always remember Milo of Croton. It was a Greek god. He used to carry a small calf every single time. The interesting thing about the story is as the calf grew, the Milo of Croton grew as well. And that's really what's supposed to happen to you. While you are increasing in your strength and you are training with intent, you're also going to be growing as well. If you think that your recovery is rubbish or you don't need to prioritize your recovery, you can pretty much just accept slow gains, because that is what you're going to be having. You will not grow and you will not improve when your recovery is not dialed in. When you certain things like your sleep is being capped, when certain things like your nutrition is also being capped, the only thing you actually need to be doing is just keep on training. Things like your nutrition, your sleep are not as important. I can assure you, you will not grow. And if you want help with your training, your nutrition, customizing a system that fits your lifestyle like a glove, I will design a structure that complements your lifestyle, where fitness is an addition to your life. I'll tell you, book a call with the link, and I'd love to hear from you. With that said, that's the end of the video, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.